cold and the wind just like goes straight into my eyes. So it's like tear everywhere. It messed up everything.
Girl, yeah, I was struggling today.
Difficult
Yes.
to be a woman. Hello. Especially a pretty woman.
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. It's Thursday, Thriving Thursday Live, and you see that we're dealing with a lot here. And so, I had went out for a while, so I had to go touch up a little bit before.
Put on some mascara, some
Right, right. Little
stuff
foundation,
here and there.
Yes,
get the little shine off. I
Dap,
got you.
dap, dap.
Yeah.
yes. So you guys are looking great for our Thursday Night Live, and thank you all for being here, and thank our audience. Thank you for joining us again. We have again Dr. Lee on the line, and we are, we're powering through this. We're looking forward to the great things that she's going to talk to us about tonight. But before we get started, we're going to have Charlene to go ahead and give us a brief. And before it, Charlene, come on now, hit that subscribe button. We're building our community. And so we need to get those likes out there and comment. Please send your comments. We'll be watching online periodically. We want to remind you to go ahead and drop some comments, and we'll reply back to you while we're live. Charlene, go ahead and welcome our audience.
All right. Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. As he said, I thrive in Thursday. Thirsty Thursday, whatever it is for you. Thank you for coming on with us, right? As he stated, we want that engagement. We want those likes. We need that engagement. We want you to share this information that you're receiving today. But before we get to the information that you're going to be receiving or the conversation that you're going to be a part of, let me tell you a little bit about First Home Alliance, who we are, services we provide, where we provide those services, and how you can stay tuned to the end of this conversation to get those services if they pique your interest. So, First Home Alliance, we are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency established by our president and founder, Mr. Larry J. Laws, in 2002. He decided, I always say, served his community, served his country, then decided to serve his community after serving almost 25 years in the United States Army. He decided to create the nonprofit First Home Alliance. What is our mission? Our mission is to increase home ownership to low to moderate income family, along with serving our veteran community. What are the services that we provide? So First Home Alliance, we provide pre-purchase counseling, education, the counseling. Hey, I want to buy a house. I have no idea what I'm doing. So you reach out to us and we help you build that team that is needed and get through the process, because there's some things that we recommend that you do before you even get into that transaction. So we're with you, hold your hand throughout the entire process. Education, we have our first time homebuyers class, which is every third Saturday. Our next one is February 21st. There's still some seats, so we want you to go online and register for that. We also offer loss mitigation services. Charlene, what are you talking about? Loss mitigation. I own my home. I'm in trouble. Dr. Lynn, we always say life is lifing, it's getting us. And so if that is you, First Home Alliance acts as an advocate on your behalf to help you sustain home ownership. And number one, we want to make sure that you prevent foreclosure. We also offer rental counseling, debt budget management, along with emergency preparedness services. Where we're located in Virginia, Maryland, and the south side of Chicago. But again, you're talking to me or you're listening to me, and you could be in Louisiana, you could be in Texas, you could be anywhere, because our virtual services made it where you can hear me anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you're located. Again, if those services that I just discussed pique your interest, we want you to listen to Dr. Lynn's conversation. So at the end, you can find out how you can get those services. With that being said, Larry, I will throw it back to you.
Larry, you are mute.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Yes. And so thank you, Charlene. Yes. And so we're back again this evening, and we're going to go ahead and get started here again with Dr. Lynn. She's a guru when it comes to the financial arena. She's with Money Umbrella, and she, she's only a couple of years, past high school. But she's well
He's lying. She's a teenager, whole adolescent, y'all. Whole adolescent. He is lying. Great teenager.
Yeah, but she probably tell you that she had a couple of careers or something like that. Don't believe.
I don't know how she did that as a baby.
No, yes. She came out with this financial knowledge. Okay.
That's what makes it
great. Yes, Dr. Lynn, go ahead and let's get started.
Yes. Hi, Larry. Hi, Charlene. Thank you again for having me back today. I hope everybody is staying safe and sane in this crazy weather. As I was telling Charlene earlier, today was a very bad day for my makeup. because the wind and the cold weather, it just keep coming into my eyes. And I went to meet with a lawyer for partnership this morning. And then when I left the coffee shop and I got into my car, I checked myself in the mirror, and it was full, black, the mascara and eyeliner everywhere on my eyelid. I literally looked like a witch. So just hoping everybody is not sharing the same experience, and stay safe, stay warm, do not leave your house, or do not drive if you can actually help it. Yeah, don't risk anything, especially your life and other people's life as well. So that being said, today I have a treat for you guys when it comes to I understand we live in the DMV, so a lot of people around here are just settling down, buying their first home after years of say military services or federal government employment, and you're just settling down and you're thinking, okay, maybe now is the time for me to jump career, right, to become an entrepreneur, a business owner. So there are multiple ways that you can do that without breaking your bank or breaking your peace of mind. And so our topic today is going to be advanced risk management for first time entrepreneurs. Again, I'm not trying to talk at anybody. These are what these things are what I have been observing in my career in the financial services world. So if you have any feedback, you know how to reach me. Let me just first share my screen so you know how you can reach me. All right. Can everybody see my screen as a presenter?
Yes.
Presenter view. Yes. Seems like the technicality is finally on our side today. If you remember the last two sessions. Okay, so again, my name is Dr. Ling Tring An. I have a doctorate degree in piano performance from George Mason University. I got that piece of paper when I was 29 years old, and I'm currently in my early 30s. That's probably, and I'm an Asian descendant, so maybe that's why Larry is saying that I look like a baby, even though I'm really not a baby anymore.
High schooler.
High schooler. Yes. Well, I'll take that as a compliment, Larry. Thank you so much. Again, you can always reach me if you have any inquiry or you want to meet up in person, set up an appointment. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at ltafinance@mymoneyumbrella.com. That is my business email address. And if you're just here for information, you're not ready to take action, but you want to self-educate yourself on simple topic like risk management and basic investment, you can always come to my website at www.mymoneyumbrella.com and click on the menu button and then go into education. I have a lot of posts there waiting for you. So the agenda for us today, again, is to target first-time entrepreneurs who wants to make a safe transition from, full-time employment into entrepreneurship. So we are going to talk about how to safely transition, how to I will provide you with a list of risk management checklist before you decide to jump right ahead into the water. I'll talk a little bit about budgeting and how to do that safely between your personal fund and your business fund. Legality, I am not a lawyer. I'm not an estate attorney or a business law attorney. However, I could definitely, just cover a few things that you should ask yourself or to seek consultation on before you choose to open your own business. And then after that, I'll touch really, really quickly on scaling and the signals for you to know when to scale and if you are ready to scale and how to do that safely. Because again, life is all about dodging risk, right? But that life be life in, just like Charlene said earlier, and we will never know when the risk actually become real in our life. So it's good. It's a rule of thumb that if you are in business, your risk management portfolio should be 100% waterproof. So in my book, the safest transition that I have seen people practice is, number one, they would use their 9 to 5 to fund their 5 to 9. Larry, have you heard of this before?
Yes, yes. Get a 9 to 5 to fund your
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 five
next
to
career.
nine.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, and this is very practical, especially for military personnel, right? Military families or
yes,
federal government employers, employees, because you actually have a very set schedule. Every single day you work 9 to 5, and then after that, if you have the energy and the support that you need within your household, you can use 5 to 9 to start building towards your your freedom from corporate or from the government employment world. So
yes,
that will add up to about 12-hour work days. And I would 100% recommend you go out there during the weekends. I love going out to networking events during the weekend, go to parties and stuff like that, because I work in finance, and pretty much everybody that I cross path with are either underinsured or don't know how to invest correctly, how to maintain a balance sheet and whatnot, because again, they don't teach us anything about financial services or education in high school. So that's pretty much my schedule. And then keep in mind that the 12-hour workday and the double down on the weekend, it's only temporary. But if you set up that structure, and if you find the right thing to do, and build up your business one step at a time, at one point you are going to be able to make it and make the full transition into business. So this is an example for from my personal life. So beside finance, I also work as a piano teacher. But this is something special about my schedule, is that for children to take piano lessons, it has to be after hour. So my schedule is actually flipped. I use the 9 to 5 to actually build my business, and the 5 to 9 to actually go out there and teach piano for the stable income. So again, this is going to be very customized to your goal, your personal life and your career, your current career. But this is just an example. So from Thursday to Sunday, I use a lot of time, going out there, going to networking events, making connection, like I did with Mr. Larry here. Larry, tell them how we met.
yes. Well, we actually met at Chamber of Commerce. And
Yeah,
so, yes, you remember? I forget the exact what committee it was. What was the name of the committee?
I think it was a military and veteran.
Military and veterans, yes. And so it was a group of chamber members out there, and actually we came in and spoke and was talking about how the community could actually better associate and support our veterans. And so she was out there, of course, looking at ways to enrich her. Career and business connections, and it was a nice networking opportunity, and there was so many opportunities that was shared. I mean, we was there, I don't know, it was a couple of hours, and I didn't get a chance to meet everyone in the room, but I would say at least 5 or 6 individuals made a connection there. So yes, a great opportunity to make the connection and
Yeah.
working on other businesses.
100%. I mean, we're
Yes,
we're in business, so we of course we have to go out there and network, right? There are multiple ways that you can do networking and selling. You can do cold calling if you're absolutely smashing it on the phone. That is
yes,
completely fine. You can purchase leads, but for me, I love the personal touch. I like to go out there and actually meet people, so that we can kind of like feel each other out. So yeah, back to that first meeting with Larry. I was late to the meeting, just so you remember. I was late, and then I just walked in, and I tried to keep everything quiet as soon as possible, but I walk on heels, so it was like I was like a mushroom on heels making all the noises, and I was late. Oh god, that was horrible. But at the end of the speech of the presentation, I just walked up to Larry and I introduced myself for about what I do and my vision to help communities around here set their finance in order. So yeah, we just talked,
yes.
and he followed up with me about a month
That's
later.
true. Yes, you get the follow up. For me,
Yeah.
I took pictures of the cars just in case I lose them. But networking and working on that 5 to 9, working on that next career. Even if you're maybe unemployed, you
Hmm.
still need to go to these events and meet people, face to face. You know,
Yes.
and when I started a nonprofit, I started from scratch. I didn't know anything. I actually went to a networking event, and that's where I was able to recruit my first board member to
Mm,
help me guide along the process to get into the tax exempt.
mm.
So networking is very important.
Yeah, and then there's multiple ways for you to find out, networking events. And there are a lot of free networking events out there on Facebook, right? On Eventbrite. Some of them are very, very minimal fee, like $25 or $30, and then you can get out there and just meet with people. So for the population who are, unemployed right now, unfortunately,
Mhm.
um you can easily spend, I don't know, 9 to 5 to actually go out there and meet with people, go to
Yes.
networking events, make connection, get their business card, and then use the 5 to 9 to maybe touch up on your resume, right? Or touch up on your website. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, please do so, because that's where a lot of people are looking for opportunity. And do research on the next networking event that you can go to. Those are the tips that I could give you. And then Monday, do spend one day for your mind. Like,
Mhm.
like you can do touch up things like paperwork. You work on CRM. You basically, kind of have a collection of business card and sort out who am I going to contact first, stuff like that. And then again, website maintenance, LinkedIn maintenance, newsletters. If you are running that, I do send out newsletter every single week, and usually I make the post on my website on Monday, and then on Tuesday, I would send out the newsletter to tell people, hey, come check out my new blog post, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do spend about 2 days out of the week to follow up with people that, you want to talk more with. They haven't been, sold yet. So you do want to follow up, because in business, follow is gold. Remember that, my
Yes.
friends. If you
That's
do
true.
not follow up, don't take anything personal. That's number one, because sometimes people are really, really busy. Like, for example, me. You would text me during a working hour, and if it has nothing to do with business, I will not be able to open that until probably like a week later. I have been yelled at so much by my friends because of my horrible, follow-up skill when it comes to like personal life, because
Yeah.
I get invitation to
You
party.
want to strike the iron when it's hot too. And so you
Yeah.
got hot leads, someone you just left, the chamber, within 24 hours, I think we had already made that next connection and set up an
Mm,
appointment after that. But make that within 24 hours while it's still hot.
yeah.
It becomes a warm lead. You don't want it to turn cold. So
Yeah. Don't want
yeah,
it to.
you
Exactly.
don't want to turn cold. And you're talking about CRMs. Individuals don't know, if they don't have a CRM, they can just use a simple spreadsheet,
Exactly.
color code it and put your contacts on there.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I do is I write down their name and their contact information, and then a
Hmm.
note next to it to say, when was the last time that we spoke? What is the
Yes.
result? Did they buy something, or did they not buy something? And what is the reason for that? So that the next time you follow up with them, oh, hey, the last time we were talking about this, 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 is this still a problem? Or like, when should we, reconnect and go back into the offer or something like that? So yeah, those are you have to set yourself up with a system that will not break your peace of mind. You
Yeah.
don't want to, wake up at 3 in the morning and be like, oh my God, I forgot to follow up with this one person this week.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Yes.
now for my crowd who are just quitting their job and just jump straight in business. Number one, well, kudos to you. That is a very brave move. But then also I want you to make sure that this is going to be sustainable for you for at least the first 2 years of your business career. So make sure your saving and whatever you have set up for income can sustain your personal life for at least 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, now let's move on to how you can test yourself before you start leaping. So yesterday I talked to a friend of mine at the Tower Club Tysons, and he's currently working as a sales manager for Priority One. But he also said that he's looking for ideas because he eventually wants to become a business owner. So I just asked a few very simple questions. What is your passion? right? Understand he work in sales right now. So sales is a very, very valuable skill, especially when you decide to become a business owners, because it teaches you how to make connections and
Mhm.
follow up with people and get things in order and set up like structure. But it doesn't tell you what your passion is. So number one, you need to validate your skill and whatever you think that you might be good at in real market, even when you are still doing your full-time job. So my suggestion would be, test your networking skill, right? Um, choose a, choose something that you know you want to do, and practice your pitches, practice on closing, practice on, like watch the transaction time frame, like how long it takes you to follow up with somebody until they buy, right? But first and foremost, before you jump right in, you need to kind of test those skills in the real world scenario, instead of just, oh, I have an idea, I'm going to quit my job and do this, without knowing if you are actually good or cut out for it, or if your skill is at a level that can sustain your business. Make sense?
That yes, definitely it does, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not sure if the education, that you may need additional education, certification, training. So we have the internet, and so you can take a lot of the classes and training online. So,
Mhm.
but yes, it's definitely if you. I think you mentioned whether it's sales or real estate, then you definitely want to test the market before you just jump into that new career. Yeah,
100%.
well
Yeah,
said.
one of the reasons why people, like a lot of businesses, fail within the first 5 years is
Mhm.
because, the lack of education and the lack of planning, right? I mean, if you
Yes.
think about finance, also retirement, a lot of people fail to retire because they fail to plan when it matters. Apply that into business and we have the same thing, right? Now secondly, you do need to network intentionally. So depending on your industry, right, you want to find out the type of events that will eventually give you the targeted audience that, like, and develop your niche market for your practice. It's not like, for example, for me in finance, it took me a while before I could actually realize that my niche market are people, in, with family, with kids, who need, financial planning, who wants to have a better retirement, or to prepare for their kids, and then also retirees, or people who are approaching retirement, because my, with my degree and stuff like that, yeah, this is probably the fake complaint or whatever, but I do have a doctorate degree, and when I talk to people about all the advanced things, I like to talk about advanced stuff. A lot of people kind of shy away from me because they think that I'm way too expensive or something, even though I really don't charge any fee for my complimentary 30-minute financial review. So yeah, like gradually, the populations just kind of filter themselves out of my reach. And so now, I work in advanced insurance planning, advanced risk management portfolio for higher net worth clients and high risk businesses. But you need to really take time to network intentionally. And then also, when you are in business, there are going to be a lot of people who come to you, but they are unsure about doing business with you or not. So make sure that you track like real interest, and then you follow up with this group of people who are like, that they need this thing and they're open-minded and they already express interest, and maybe just one or two things that are holding them back, maybe the pricing, maybe the time horizon. Just make sure that you follow up with them weekly.
True enough. Yes. And Dr. Lynn, maybe jumping ahead, but what do you think about mentors and coaches?
Mentor and coaches, as in, taking mentorship from somebody or
Yes,
give.
yes. Someone that's already doing the business, and they've been in the business for a few years, and going to them, ask them, invite them out, and say, would you mind, mentoring me or being my coach because this is a industry that I'm interested in. And
Mhm.
so, you have to ask, and it have to be an acceptance too. But what do you think? Do you think that maybe would that be a good idea to have a mentor when you're starting a new business
Of course,
position?
many mentors actually. So for me, I work in insurance, and when I contract with a broker, usually I would be assigned a mentor, right? But not every mentor is going to cover everything that you need. So I would suggest you to, if you work in insurance, for example,
Hmm.
explore the options out there. If you're independent, that's even better, right? You can contract with different broker and agency, and then you can learn from different mentors. So always look for variety in mentorship. Do not follow any one or two people. I have about five mentors from very different worlds.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one mentor who is, a full-fledged financial planner.
Hmm.
I have who taught me everything that I know about financial planning and balance, approaches. I have a mentor who is a wholesaler in life insurance, so he focused on like doing deals with businesses and multi-million dollar policies. I also have a mentor who just are a personal connection who used to work for New York Life, as a captive agent. I'm not captive, but he is a captive agent, and he has a lot of insight into products that I was not, fluent in. So, and then life coach, people who teach you how to keep yourself optimistic at all time, because sometimes business can really be
Yes.
gnarly. It can get into your
That's
head. And so yeah, you have, I would say you are the average of five people that you surround yourself with the most.
correct.
So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having five mentors or even 10.
Yes.
But
True.
just be selective. Look
Yes.
at what they have done, look at where they are in life, and just make sure that their approaches kind of match yours.
True.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally agree.
Yeah. So now the question that you need to ask yourself is, can I sustain this for at least 18 to 24 months? That's why I was saying, your savings should, at least cover your personal life for at least 2 years. So you have about 18 to 24 months to ask yourself this question: is this sustainable? If the answer is yes, then you can start beginning, transitioning into a full-time business owner. But if it's no, then there is no shame in still like reduce. You can reduce your full-time job to a part-time if the demand for your business is growing. But yeah, there is no shame in taking a little longer time to build your business. I mean, if you see out there, there are so many people who became wildly successful after like 40s or the very late in their life. So there is absolutely no shame in, just taking your time. Make sure that your family is set first, right? Your personal life is in order before you dive into business, so that you don't, break yourself in half.
True
Sorry.
enough.
Yep. Okay, moving forward. So this is a checklist for risk management. So when you are starting a business, your personal risk, your personal risk management portfolio becomes non-negotiable, because when you are in business, you're liable, and you're liable for a lot of things. You're not just liable for your life anymore, but if you are starting a business, right? Number one, you put your income in, in jeopardize. You could jeopardize your income, because it's business is very, it goes up and down every all the time, right? So if your personal life and your personal risk portfolio is not taken care of and is not waterproof yet, then you're always going to live in this fear of, oh my god, what if this happened to my business, and that I'm already breaking my bank funding this business. So these are just a few things that you should make sure that you set up correctly before you start in business. Number one, if you have a family, and just make sure that your life insurance has a chronic illness, critical illness, and terminal illness rider, in case when you are doing business, just like hustling out there, something happened to you and you end up with a chronic illness or critical illness or even terminal illness. um, Most of these riders will it's a rider that allows the life insurance company to pay you up to a certain amount of your death benefit, even when you're still alive. just to make sure, you will be able to function without income. Now, secondly, health insurance and accidental coverage. A lot of things can happen. We live in the DMV, guys. Accidents happen all the time. I was telling Larry earlier today, I saw an accident that, there was a SUV that got hit by like a truck, and they I don't know, they blocked like 2 lanes on Leesburg Pike. And I can't help but wonder if the owner or if the driver had health insurance with accidental coverage, especially if they need their car, like if they need to move for their business, then it's really, really important that they have health insurance with accidental coverage. Now, income protection. I would recommend you have coverage up to 90% of your personal expenses every single month, because life happened. You could get sick. And if you're a full-time business owner like myself, you don't have any income protection. Imagine you literally do not have anything to cover your bill if accidents happen and you're too sick to work, right? One of my friends actually fell into this trap before. He was working as a car salesman, and he was renting and stuff like that until he got way too sick to work, and so there was no income anymore. He did not have income protection, so he ended up being like owing a few months of rent and eventually got evicted. You don't want that to happen to you. So please, if you're freelancing, if you are relying on income, literally your income is your only asset. Protect it.
Yes.
At all cost. All right, moving on, we have emergency fund. So 6 to 12 months fixed personal expenses, because again, life be lifing, like Charlene says, and okay, we never know what is going to happen with the market. People are getting laid off every single day, and if you don't have an emergency fund that can sustain you for the next 6 to 12 months, how are you going to focus on bringing in income plus maintaining a business? So the emergency fund is even more important when you start venturing into entrepreneurship. Would you agree, Larry?
Yes, most definitely. And you were speaking of the income protection and some of the other protections there. I meet more and more individuals that are, when you say transitioning from military, transition from one corporate to entrepreneurship, they're moving in these careers that is volatile. A lot of them are commission based. You mentioned about the car salesman and things. A lot of them are commission based. Some are seasonal. And so with that, it's extremely important that you're protecting against your income risk, and of course health and life risk as well, because a bad season, a bad economy, different things, weather, speaking of today, you have one of those that one of our neighbors is a hotel worker. Of course they have to go, but maybe what if they couldn't go? And so if they're not there, that's a chunk of income that will not be there if they take a week off and not be able to make it to work.
Absolutely.
So yes, emergency funds, emergency savings is very important within keeping you stable.
Yep, and especially if you have a family with dependents as well. That is absolutely non-negotiable, because if you don't set up, you're jeopardizing your entire family's future.
Correct.
And stability, and it's just, honestly, to you, in my book, that's just irresponsible. And then, last but not least, the retirement contribution must continue, especially if you are still, with a company, you still get a match from your employer. Then by all means, please do not pause planning for your future just for a business. You want to set up yourself so that you could retire no matter what, with or without the business, right? So I usually tell my clients, hey, if you want to venture into business, that's fine, but just make sure that you are putting yourself first. You are, paying your future self before you start this risky business.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's free money if your employer actually provide a match. It's literally free money. So why not?
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
so remember, if your family collapses when your income pauses, you are not ready. And at that point, you need a full, reality check whether or not you are cut out to do business right now at this time, or should you, just go back to the corporate world, work a few years, and then, go back and try it again. There's nothing wrong with that. I know people, I have clients who build three different businesses over time, and he failed, but every time the things happen, he just go back to either like doing a freelancing, getting a contract or something, um you know work full time somewhere, and then just gradually build up every time to go back into business. So now we're trying to find a better structure moving forward for him. Hopefully, we will see something that he actually can sustain for the next 5 to 10 years, breaking the 5 year threshold.
yes, yes. But it's not really about getting knocked down, because you will get knocked down. It's all about getting up. And so
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
back up and try to. And once you have went through that, because even if you want to call it a traditional type business that you have regular income, and if you're in business where there's going to be some seasons that things are going to go down. There's going to be some economic tires. There's going to be some a shift in market reorganization that may happen, and so you're going to go through that transition more than once in your life. And
Yeah,
so it is good to learn each time. Not
yeah,
saying that's not, that you never get, but you won't do the same things that you did before. So learn from it, because you'll probably have to go through it again
yeah.
and continue to build that foundation so that you will have something to, to rock back on when
Absolutely.
things are hard.
I agree. Yes, life can knock you down, but you get to choose whether you stay down or you stand up,
That's true.
move forward.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, moving forward, we have a special case for our military and pension holders, like Mr. Larry here. If you have guaranteed income for life, very, very good for you. You're already doing better than most out there. But number one, do not rely on your pension alone. Treat it as a foundation. But then also, do you remember what I talked about last time about, reallocating a part of your investment into building up a very good foundation for all fixed expenses for life?
Yes.
This is when life insurance products can actually become a supplement for your retirement planning and for your fixed income. So if you already have a pension, good for you. Now what you need to do is just calculate your personal your fixed expenses on your personal side. And if by any for some reason your pension does not cover all of that, then do consider reallocate a part of your investment portfolio, like into TSP or 401k or 403b, into an annuity, just to make sure that all of that combined, pension plus annuity, can cover your personal fixed expenses for life before you use your savings or your investment, or like adding on businesses, entering risk. So the risks that involve with business owners are, well, number one, of course, business income is very, very volatile. You have some great months, you have some really bad months. If you work in insurance like myself, or even financial planning, some deals are gigantic and they take like 3 to 5 months or 3 to 6 months. Some of them even longer than that to close. So just make sure that you have a good foundation to sustain your day-to-day living when deals are still in the process. Number two, even though business incomes can be volatile, but your personal expenses are non-negotiable. You still need money to cover mortgage if you own a house, or rent, utility, um, grocery, gas, insurance, risk management, blah, 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 all of that. And then, of course, if you have a family with dependents, that's a lot more responsibility than a single than singles out there. So just make sure that you cover at least your personal fixed expenses to the T before you start business. You agree with this, Larry?
Yes, yes, definitely agree. It's that all about risk and families just bring another level
Yeah.
because when you start off, if you're you don't have those responsibilities in family,
Hmm.
then you can not take a chance of not being, if you want to say, fully covered. However, Donna, you were speaking of the employee assistance where they're actually matching funds. That's
Hmm.
a good time to match when your responsibilities are low, you're new in the industry. It's a good time to actually max out the amount during those early years. It's
Yes.
you start bringing on more responsibilities, a larger family, then you may need more of your your primary income to for regular living expenses. So if there's a match, again, like you said, that's free money. So take advantage of it.
100%. Yes. Now it kind of tie back to I think my first or my second presentation of this series when I talked about, the people with like bad spending habit and
Hmm.
bad credit score and stuff like that. Do not waste your early year, with the bad spending habit, because once you have a bad spending habit, it's kind of really hard to turn around, especially if you stack up credit card um, debt. That's
Yes,
almost always a bad thing. Well, not almost always is a bad thing, because most credit cards are in what, 20 to 30% interest if you
correct.
can't pay it back. So yeah, just make sure to be very responsible with your spending habit from day one. We're not even just talking about family, but this is for you and your lifelong trajectory. Do not get in credit card debt by any means.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And that, as you mentioned before, paying yourself first, putting some money on the side. A lot
Mm,
of times that's going to prevent you having to use credit cards
mm.
because things happen. You
Yep.
need funds sometime, emergencies happen, but having a little bit stashed on the side to
Mm.
prevent that from going in debt to take care of those things. But yes, yeah, so I agree. Very important. Avoid the credit card debt.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving forward. Now, to talk about budgeting, I do have a lot of people who ask me, hey, how do I separate? Like, how do I keep my personal funding and my business funding straight? Number one, absolute separation if you can help it. So, on the personal side, again, before starting business, make sure that you have an emergency fund of at least 6 to 12 months fixed expenses, or you could actively building it, but at least have a strategy, and a trajectory, like how much money am I allowed or able to save, and just build that up gradually. As long as you have a strategy and you have a deadline, and you have a time frame for yourself, you should be okay. Now, retirement contributions, again, I recommend retirement contribution to be maintained, especially if you're still with an employer that match your contribution for your 401k or 403b or TSP. Please do take advantage of the match. And then, of course, for personal, have a separate bank account just for personal expenses. Now, on the business side, I would say emergency funds should cover at least 3 to 6 months of fixed operating cost. Right. So you have, if you're like me, I run an online office, and I also subscribe to the Tower Club Tyson. I pay about like $300 a month for office space, and like venues over there to meet with my personal partners, or not personal partner, oh my god, business partners, personal partners. Oh my god, what am I saying? Jesus, no, I don't have any personal partner.
You're
uh
supposed to rent your own space for that.
yeah. No, business partners and prospects and clients. Yes, yes. So just make sure. And then I have monthly costs for website maintenance.
Mhm.
And if you found like an LLC or something like that on like LegalZoom or something, just make sure that you keep a spreadsheet of how much they cost,
Yes.
and add it up. And that's how you can find out how much you should save for an emergency fund for your business, in case, just in case. Now, if you make profits, well, congratulations. But then what are we going to do with the profit? Number one, you should find out a balance between investing it back into the business for scaling, and also think about how to protect the executives if you are partnering, this very, very important. If you're partnering with somebody in business, think about it like a marriage, but in business. If any of you die or become disabled, how is the other partner going to sustain the business? How is the business going to be sustained without breaking a person's bank? Right. And especially, oh my God, if you have a life partner and you are in business partnering with someone else. Now, this is even more important for you to have a buy-sell agreement, because if in the event that you pass away and your life partner has absolutely no idea of how to run a business and they just need to, like get their share out, then you need to protect them at all costs with, cash value life insurance. Make sure that you leave behind a very strong buy-sell agreement that will, kind of direct what to do in the what the business can do in the case that you pass away unexpectedly.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, invest back into business. There's so many things that you could do. You can always paying for more marketing. You can, sponsor things for tax write-off, or even like donate to charities and stuff like that. There's so many things for you to do
Yes.
when you have that profit that you can invest back into your business. Now, a lot of people ask me, should I take a business credit line, something like that? I would say before you can establish a cash discipline, where where money is. If you have an emergency fund, if you have absolute discipline that you are not going to go above your business budget, and you have a plan, right? A set revenue, profit, all of that on a spreadsheet, then you can venture in, taking on debt. And most of the time, if you're in the SBA space, they won't even allow you to take out loans unless you have some kind of leverage. Either you have like an asset, or in some cases, unless you have life insurance. So just make sure, be very careful with taking on debt for your business.
Correct. Yes. And yeah, just touch on that. Well, we're in the nonprofit space, so one to mention about the plan, just in case something happened. We are required to have a succession plan. And so just in case, I get hit by a bus, I like to use that term. I get hit by a bus and I don't show up. What's the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Temporary absent, or would it be sustained over a period of time? And so that's what for nonprofit, but for profit, you need to think about the same thing. You need to have the succession plan, because things are going to happen. So, and it's good to be prepared, have it and not need it, than to need it and not have it. And so you do want to definitely have that in place, the succession plan. Yeah, in reference to credit and lines of credit, if you have a huge contract that's paying you reimbursement, then maybe that would be leverage that you can use and actually to get a line of credit to sustain you over 30 or 60 days or so. But you have that plan, and you have the contract that has been in place. And so it works that way. But if it's no what you want to call it, no way of that, you don't have an exit plan, then it's not good to go into borrowing money on a business if you don't have an exit plan to get out of that loan. So,
yeah.
Sure.
This reminds me of a conversation that I had with one of my clients, one of my very long-term clients back last week. Long story short, she used her own credibility to actually take out a loan for a nonprofit that she sit on. I think it's a 501c3 or something.
Yes.
And then now the organization is not doing very well, but her name and her credibility is actually on the line, because she was the person who's sponsor that debt to even begin with. So
well, someone have to sign if the organization do not have the capital business line, and so if funds are needed, and so sometimes it's board members and sometimes it's founders that start off with taking on a debt. So it is a risk, and it's whether it's for profit or nonprofit, you still need to generate revenues, and if you have debt, you have to pay it off.
Yeah, Make
Yeah.
sure that you have everything set up so you that you can sustain that debt without
Yes.
breaking your family apart.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Enough with the depressing stuff. Oh my God. Every
That
time we
that
talk
is
about this, I
depressing,
get so
isn't
depressed. Okay. Sorry, people. We're not meaning to kill your the Thursday vibe, but okay. So let's move on. Now, so if you are relying on your personal saving to fund your business, number one, just make sure that you cover all your, again, I'm gonna keep going back to again and again and again into this money that you reallocate from your personal saving into your business fund must be after all fixed personal expenses are taken care of. Emergency fund is building or already built. Your retirement planning is still going as planned, and then also risk management funding, because remember, very very important. And when you're in business, there are a lot of things that can happen, and your family could be on the line if anything happened to you. My rule of thumb is do not destroy your personal future for your business. Business is optional, but your personal future is not. Everybody needs to retire and stop working at some point, right? And so please do not destroy your personal future for your business by, a lot of people are. I've sadly met quite a few people like that, and as a risk management advisor, I do not, you know, advocate for doing business at all, like at all cost. And there are different risk tolerances for different um, targeted audience, but you do not need to break your bank or break your future just for your business.
Yes.
All right. And these are just a few things when it comes to legality and business. So number one, make sure that you do proper research on what kind of business structure that you should have based on what you have for what your vision is. You could have a LLC or S corp or C corp, but do consult with a business law attorney if you need a recommendation for in the state of Virginia, please do reach out to me in person, because I do partner with business lawyers as well. Now, for solo owners, make sure to consider unilateral buy sell agreement, accession, like exit plan, succession plan, stuff like that. If you have a partner in business and or life partners, buy sell agreements are definitely non-negotiable, because now you have responsibility to the partner in business and your life partner. And if you stack dependents and children on top of that, it's even more important to have a buy sell agreement set up and updated every single year. Now, if you have, let's say, a medical spa, you have equipment and like a physical location or something, then make sure that you kind of keep details of all the expenses that you buy the equipment, and then use it for tax write-off at the end of the year. And then also make sure you have business insurance, over cost, expense, stuff like that, to make sure that if anything break or something, like there's a disaster or earthquake or a fire or something, then you're covered. But again, planning planning ahead is definitely cheaper than a lawsuit or a divorce in the middle of building an empire. Right? We cannot build on a shaky foundation, guys, because when we already build a house on top of a shaky foundation, when it breaks, it would cost you so much more money to go in there and fix the foundation, in comparison to if you actually have that set up waterproof and everything is like concrete and precise, and with a great structure. And then when you are ready to scale, now for scaling and growth, number one though, still risk management. Buy sale agreement must be reviewed and updated annually, because your revenue changes, right? Your partner roles might evolve or change over time, and also life circumstances sometimes change in the middle of building an empire. We never know, but it's still good to have this piece of risk management set up. If you have never heard of the Connolly brother case, it was a big lawsuit because they failed to update their buy sale agreement accordingly to their revenue changes. It was a huge lawsuit back then. Just go look up Connolly brother lawsuit and you'll be able to find it, which remind us how important it is to always update your review and update your buy sell agreement every single year. Now, when can you scale? Number one, the first sign is if your revenue is consistent, right? Number two, your tasks are becoming repetitive and you can actually, delegate some of your tasks to another person and train them, have some time to train them, and they can take care of the back office stuff for you. For example, like I really need somebody to work with my calendar these days because everything is flying around. And when your back office task actually prevent sales to happen, like if it's cutting way too much into your selling time, then it's probably a good idea to start delegating tasks to another person. So these are the scaling signal. And, two people, if you guys are a great team, teamwork will beat, one person hustling anytime, any day of the week, twice on Sunday. But just make sure that you have a good person working for you, honest and efficient. All right. Now, last thing is reality check. Now, again, I'm going to go back to this. Risk management is non-negotiable when it comes to entrepreneurship. No matter what life stage you're in, there are always going to be a set of risks you need to deal with. So entrepreneurship, again, is very optional. You can choose to be in business. You can choose to be part-time business, part-time employees. But again, risk management is not optional. Every single step of the way, there is going to be a set of risks that threaten to disrupt your process. So make sure that before doing anything, you need to set up your risk management portfolio. Now, because this is the last seminar in our series, this is all the way that you guys can find me. Number one, if you're just here for information and you're not ready to have a conversation yet, come check out my website at mymoneyumbrella.com. Again, click on the menu and then go into education, and you will be able to see all the posts that I have written so far. Now, if you want to connect with me on a little more personal level than just looking at a website, then you can check out my LinkedIn at linkedin.com LTA Finance. And if you're ready to take action, or just here to have a conversation, a one-on-one conversation, private conversation, then reach out to me at LTA Finance at mymoneyumbrella.com. I am drowned in about 2,000 emails right now unread, but I will try my best to keep up with everything as soon as I can find some way to delegate my task. Now, because I want to show you guys a little bit, if you actually click on that link, this is my LinkedIn. We're running out of time here, but I think we
No problem. You have time to pull that up.
probably okay. So if you click on that link, this is my LinkedIn. So I graduated from George Mason. My life is an open book on LinkedIn. I do check out the feature posts, because these are the posts that I'm most proud of, and I do have a pretty robust network on LinkedIn as well. And to share with you guys a little bit of a win that I had this week. I got my feature story on Insight Success Magazine went live. And if you check out my LinkedIn and click on this link, you can find the article and read a little bit more about my life before finance. So again, thank you, Larry, and thank you. Let me stop sharing. And thank you, Charlene, for the last wonderful 4 weeks, and can't wait to see what we can do more in the future.
Yes, and want to remind everyone, yes, if you just in case if you didn't get Dr. Lynn's contact, just contact our office. I'll make sure that you can link up with her and check out mymoneyumbrella.com. And Dr. Lynn is going to be our first guest that's going to be featured on Rock Your Block. Rock Your Block is a community show that is filmed in Fairfax, but it's actually shown on some of the other local channels. So if you have channel 10 and channel 31 on local channel, Dr. Lynn It would be recorded in February, the third week of February, on the 19th. And so it should be released about 2 weeks after. And so around the 1st of March, come out on a Friday afternoon, I think a Friday at 6 p.m. and rock your block for the First Home Alliance segment. And you'll see Dr. Land there interview. So you see that she have a lot to share. And we're just going to, expose her and what she do a whole lot more to our community. And so
okay, I got a little bit intimidated here. If you
they're
have
going to know all about you. You're going to be painted everywhere.
If you have a piano there, we'll see how I can rock your block.
Oh, what? That's what I'm talking about. Yes, maybe we can have a drop on that piano series there. Yes,
Okay.
and so we'll be working on that production. And again, it's been a pleasure having you on, Dr. Land, and a wealth of information. And this will not be the last time. We look forward to partnering with you going forward. Okay. And so for you guys, for our audience, I want to tell you welcome and thank you for coming, joining us here on Thursday. Check out our website. That's firsthomealliance.org for all our upcoming events on Thursday night. We'll continue our Thursday Thriving Thursday Live. Also on Monday morning, we have the Yoga with Tippy Monday morning at 7:15. Pull it up at any time. Our next first time home buyer class in person will be February the 21st. And so come and join us in person and check out our website for some of the other periodic classes that we have. Well, thank you again for joining us. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell on YouTube. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all next time.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.